Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of the 1894. I'm Dara, and here I have Joe with me because Hugh was plastered. So we're going to have a discussion about the Borussia Mönchengladbach fixture. Joe, what are your thoughts on the game?
It was fairly comfortable. It wasn't going to be difficult any stretch of the imagination. If you thought it was, then you clearly didn't watch the first leg. It's standard 2-0 performance, really. Both goals came in the first half, second half was a bit dry. Bit of rotation, get players off. It's fairly comfortable, really. No one dropped below a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it was a team with seven changes, I think, from the Fulham game, and I think we looked fairly comfortable from the start. We started again with that false nine system, which we've been clamouring for ages. Joe, what did you think of that?
It is proving to be our best or most consistent system that we've used so far this season because it's just way too fluid. If you watch the game against Gladbach, you'd realise that no one was set in that position. It was changing all the time. Players were in different positions. On paper, the front three was Foden, De Bruyne in the middle, and Mahrez on the right. If you watch the game, then at points, sometimes Bernardo was on the left, sometimes Gundogan was playing as the false nine, sometimes Bernardo was up there, De Bruyne had always dropped back. It was Gladbach were marking space during that game, and to be honest, I'm not surprised that they struggled. Oh God, I'm not surprised that they struggled in that game.
Yeah, you mentioned De Bruyne though. He's been a bit hit or miss since he's come back from the little injury he got. But last night I thought it was his best performance since he's come back. One of his better performances of the season. I thought the way he was passing it was great. He got people in behind a few times, and obviously that goal was a screamer. What did you think of? How do you think he played yesterday?
He was, for me, the best player on the pitch. He was absolutely everywhere. He was in the midfield at times. He was out wide at times. He was obviously on paper. He was the false nine, so sometimes he was the furthest up. He did really well for his goal. Let the ball come across him, just hits it first time. I mean, unstoppable. It's off the bar. So I'm not surprised, to be honest. He's had quite a lot of games. We were actually calling for him to maybe get dropped and have to work his way back into the team because his performances weren't the best, but he's kind of proved us all wrong with that performance.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's proven wrong. It took him a while to get back in. He did exactly what we were saying to do. He was dropped for a while. I don't know if he was dropped. He was just played a bit less for a while, and they must have woke him up because now he's just playing. I think that game was one of his best of the season, like I said. But with the system we were playing last night, you said it was our best. Is that the best way we should line up with that system?
If we're going into an important game, I
Hmm.
think it is because who if we're not going to play it, we're going to play with a striker. And the question is, who do you play as a striker? You don't play Jesus because he hasn't been the best as a striker this season. We particularly are losing not confidence, but losing patience with how inconsistent he can be and how
Yeah.
sometimes he's doing the wrong things at the wrong time. Because we all know he's got great technical ability. It's just his end product is just lacks a little bit at the moment. Whether he can improve on that, we're yet to see signs. He looked much better off the left against Fulham.
Yeah, I was about
So
to say.
yeah, I mean the only other option is Torres, who I would rather play a false nine over Torres at striker.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna fit all three of Bernardo, Gundogan, and Kevin De Bruyne in the team, I wouldn't want to move Bernardo out wide.
Mhm.
So one of them would play the false nine, and I don't think Aguero, at the moment at least, is up to playing week in week out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think his knees are kind of made of cheese at the minute, but the way we lined up at the back, we had a Walker start, and I think that would be the best way because regardless of what side Cancelo's going to play on, he's going to be inverting. He's going to be playing in the midfield. So I think there should be Walker starting there in the big games because of how defensively solid he is. Especially like Zinchenko's been great. Don't get me wrong, Zinchenko's been brilliant this season, but it's already well known how solid at the back Kyle Walker is. So if we're going into a Champions League final, I think we said this in that video we put up about our best 11. We'd want him in there because Cancelo's going to play the same role regardless.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, really, to say what our best back four is because for some reason, out of nowhere, we've got so many options. I mean, watching the last 4 years, you'd think that it's pretty simple to pick a back four because we ain't got a lot to choose from. But
Yeah.
as I said, we've just got too many options now that we can actually rest, rotate, and be confident in whoever we pick. I mean, against Fulham, Benjamin Mendy started, and he was actually pretty good against Fulham. And I think no one wanted him to start, or no one predicted him to start anyway. The only thing I would say about that back three that we transition into is that I'm not comfortable. I don't think Diaz is comfortable with being on the left side
On the left. No.
because he has to defend. Because players, when he's got the ball, the better passing options are with his left foot.
Yeah.
So that's why we've seen either Zinchenko there or Laporte there, or But I mean, we've done a video already on you and Hugh did a video already on what our best 11 is, and check that one out. It's what we think on form, everyone's fit is our best 11, and you'll see what system we go with there. And yeah, the back four, it doesn't matter who you pick at this point. I think as long as Diaz and Cancelo are in there, I think we should be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with that. I think Laporte on the left. I think we said in that video, Laporte on the left side of the centre back. I think we said because we need a left footer out there in that system. But we mentioned the Brian's goal. Obviously, the second goal, I think Foden was brilliant in the build up to it, the way he passed it through, and there's a great finish by Gundogan. What should you make of that one?
It's a great turn. If you look at where he starts, it's literally 2 passes and a dribble and a shot, and that makes the goal. Stones has it at the back. He plays a direct forward ball to Foden on the halfway line, and he just turns and runs with it until around the edge of the box, and then he lays it through to Gundogan, who obviously scores. So it's quite literally brilliant by Foden there, because he's run practically half of the pitch after turning with the ball. I mean, he does it so often now that you kind of just come to expect these things. But It's a great finish. Gundogan's back on the score sheet yet again. I think that's 15 goals in all competitions,
15 goals.
I believe.
Is it
season.
10 from open play as well, isn't it? It's 10 plus from open play now.
I think it might be. It's at least 10 in the Premier League alone anyway.
Yeah, he's been different class this season. I don't think we would have been saying he'd be in the running for Player of the Year at the start of the season. But yeah, it was a comfortable match, like you said. We kind of expected it going in, but now we move on to the quarterfinals, Everton on Saturday. So yeah, we'll be back out with a preview for that. Hopefully Hugh will be back for that. So yeah, we have a link to our Discords and socials in the description. So hopefully you can get in there. We have a couple of 30 people on the Discord. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.